What up, everybody? This is Beacon from Malice Corp coming to you live, and we're talking some Arrow Season 5 finale, Leon Yu. We're going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to really just react to this.
Quick recap.
Bullet pointed, because there's a lot to talk about, but we are going to do a really quick recap, bullet pointed, and then we are going to just dig into some details, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we are looking forward to next. With me is Super Hoovian Freak.
What up?
And Mr. Jack Malice.
Hello.
All right, and we'll check in with you. If you're on that live chat, just chat away, and we'll be coming back to you occasionally to get your thoughts and feelings on tonight's episode. We are going to hashtag this episode, hashtag show me the bodies. Because with all good superhero shows, if there ain't a body, I don't believe you. So we're just going to go with that because that makes me feel better about this whole situation. All right.
You can't feel too bad, man. You can't feel too bad. At least we didn't have a supernatural evening.
We had an amazing, epic finale. I mean, dude, this thing was awesome, except for maybe the last 30 seconds. And then you're like, wait, the other hashtag is hashtag WTF because it's like, wait, what just happened? You just did what? So, hey, quick bullet points. Here are my notes so that everybody can see. I took a lot, but I bullet pointed it out. So we're going to just blow right through this. I may skip some things, but that's okay. So we're going to come back to it. All right, so we start off with Leon Yu and the Deathstroke. Right where we left off last episode, we have Team Oliver getting ready and their gear gets blown up. We then have the team finds the hostages. We have ambushed while fighting the hostages. We have a sweet, real quick Elicity moment for all you Elicity fans out there. Then we hash over to the other parts of the team with Renee, Dinah, Diggle, and Quentin. Oliver, Deathstroke, and Nyssa are on the hunt. Malcolm is leading the rest of the team away to get off the island. Thea steps on a landmine. Malcolm takes her place and allegedly blows up, allegedly killing himself and Digger Harkness. So we then have Deathstroke double cross. Then we have bombs on the island. Canary frees Oliver and team. Nyssa versus Talia, Family Feud style. We have Deathstroke double agent. We then have Chase and the gang show up. Epic fighting ensues. Chase is the dead man switch for the bombs. Oliver goes after Chase. Chase has Williams on the boat, gives Oliver the ultimatum. Save your son, save your friends. Oliver saves his son. Chase kills himself. Island blows up. And meanwhile, throughout this whole thing, we have the flashbacks that we've been seeing for 5 seasons now finally come full circle to the very end of Oliver getting off the island and going home. And
wow, that is a lot to talk about. That's a massive amount of just resolution, closure, and everything just wrapped up in a big bow, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got so many great quotes. My favorite part to start off with is all the Deathstroke stuff. I mean, amazing lines from Deathstroke.
Before you go into the lines, I have to say that after tonight, it's really hard to hate Deathstroke as much as you really know you should.
Yes.
You know, it's like you know in your gut that this is a bad man that's done terrible things to good people and bad people and even worse people, and you want to hate him, but after tonight you're kind of like,
yeah.
What do I do now?
Same with Malcolm.
Oh, see, no, Malcolm has always been a weird weird entity in of himself, and we'll get to him in a minute. Let's focus on the Deathstroke because
Right.
Yeah.
one at a time.
One at a time.
So the Deathstroke, we got the it's you and me, kid, just like old times. The one line that I loved, just came in the very, very beginning, in that dialogue while they're in the prison cell, and Deathstroke says, he says, "I'm godless in my sanity," and that line right there was just like, oh, dude, fantastic lines from Manu, just fantastic.
No, my favorite from Deathstroke tonight was when they're sitting there in the woods and they're getting ready to go out. And he's explaining to him that, explaining to Oliver that all of his problems because he can't forgive himself about his father committing suicide. It's like it's a moment like you don't think Deathstroke should be able to be that deep or that much of a thinker, and you're like, wow, he kind of like nailed it like hard.
And
whoever was writing his lines tonight and his dialogue was amazing.
Absolutely, the line he says is the only way to bury that ghost is by forgiving yourself.
Yes.
And then Oliver says something like, "Oh, you make it sound so easy," and he says, "It's the hardest thing in this world.
Yeah,
is to forgive yourself."
I can never say his name right, Manu. Is he really going that gray, or did they do that up? Because you could see the streaks in his hair really, really. They stood out during that scene, and I didn't really notice it in the other scenes. But it seemed like for that close up, they put more gray in his hair.
I think they did. Yeah, I think that was makeup because it wasn't that prominent. But he should look older. I mean, it's been a few years, and it's.
And we know the serum's worn off, so that's not going to help him, age less or stay as strong as he has been. But I'm going to tell you what, that dude's got amazing hair. Okay, like amazing hair. He looks so good.
I mean, they did him up right, and I really liked the costume. How it's a throwback to the comics, but not. You know what I mean? It's brighter to me than the old comic uniform was, but it wasn't garish and overdone. You know what I mean?
Right. You had that spot of blue, and of course the mask, the iconic mask, and his fighting in this episode was, I mean, just amazing fight sequences. We got to see several of them, but the Deathstroke stuff was just epic.
Now, not to nitpick or anything, I did think it was kind of crappy, and this is just me nitpicking, being, but with my background, his web gear, he was using carabiners to hold his web gear together over his body armor, and they were the cheesy aluminum, bright orange carabiners that you get from 7-Eleven for 50 cents. And I was sitting there going, and that just bothered me. But other than that, it looked good. You
got to remember, they spent all their budget on that explosion scene. Okay.
Don't wait till the end, dude. The end. That was just, don't throw that out here now.
Okay, so then let's talk a little bit about the whole the John Barrowman scene with.
Do you want to go to that because it is next, or do you want to skip?
It's the very next thing.
Stay with Deathstroke.
Well, the very next scene was Barrowman and Nyssa on the beach, and they're talking about why they should get along, and oh my goodness, do you have the line written down, Sarah?
And she's getting the stuff together, and she's like, if we're gonna work together, you're going to have to talk to me. And he turns around and goes, I know, it's terrible. It was priceless, just without missing a beat. Just like, I know, it's like the worst thing in the world is the two of them having to work together. And
then he drops the line, are you looking for an applause? Clapping is a little difficult for me.
Yeah. You guys are you're acting like you're amazed that he was able to deliver those lines that well and that solid and that cold. Look who we are talking about here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the one guy in the show that you can always count on, and it's really I'm amazed that you didn't. I'm like sitting there and I was giggling. I was just giggling.
I was the whole time.
Because I was just like, wow. It may be his last episode, or we're pretty certain it's his last episode, and he still doesn't phone it in. He still gives it to you, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of his better episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. the last 2 weeks were really. I mean, and you know, I know this is going to be a horrible pun, but he literally went out with a bang.
Oh, actually, no. It depends. If that was a bouncing Betty, it was a pop bang. But if it was just a regular landmine, it was just a boom.
I'm going to say it again, though. Hashtag show me the body. Show me the body.
Oh, I hope it was a bouncing Betty just for the sheer fact that it would have gotten all of those guys that were around him instead of just being a regular landmine. Because if he's going to go out that way, I hope he took all those guys with him because they were all a bunch of just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got them too. If he went out, I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
But it was cool to see some closure with Thea. I mean,
that kind of left me a little soggy. You know what I mean? I mean, not from Malcolm Merlin's side and Barrowman's side. It just left me soggy from Thea. I felt like she felt stiff. Like there wasn't a lot of it. There should have been either a straight lack of emotion or more emotion from her. You know what I mean? It seemed like she was delivering lines that were supposed to be filled with emotion, but there wasn't any. So I don't know. I just felt deadpan. I don't know. That just might have been me because I was like, I wanted more. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting my you know.
No, you're not. You're not overlooking it. I felt that way too. With I don't want to be mean to her because she's an amazing actress, but it was not. I didn't feel like it was her best performance.
Not that scene.
I don't know if it was.
And it's not her fault necessarily.
Bad directing. I don't know. Maybe she was getting mixed signals because it seemed like she was going from, or it was bad editing because she went from heavy emotion to deadpan to heavy emotion to deadpan in her face, and the audio didn't seem to sync up for me. I don't know. It felt weird. The whole scene just kind of
The Felicity stuff was good.
Oh yeah,
the Felicity side.
Absolutely, the little conversation she had with Felicity I thought was a little bit better there. Yeah, some of the lines though for Barrowman and Thea, just that last kind of moment that they have together. I wrote those down, of course, as well.
Well, they were awesome. They were good. They were very good.
It was, good. From the moment you were born, all I've ever wanted was to all I've ever wanted was to protect you. And then he makes the statement of, you may not think of me as your father or look at me like your father, but you'll always be my daughter. And that was
and those lines were delivered perfectly and poignantly. And you're like sitting there going like this. Me being a father with a daughter, I was sitting there just going, you know, I felt it. You know, I felt it. You know, it just. You know,
again, it gets you in the feels organ.
Yeah, the feels organ. It was a straight up punch to the feels organ. Anyway.
Yeah, we did get closure as well with Oliver and Felicity.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wanted more, but you're right. A little bit.
We got a promise of more. If you know,
if she's still alive, right? That's the big if.
But we finally saw her get down off of, I'm sorry, what has become a high horse. I like Felicity, but I felt like she was punishing him for everything that he did wrong the last 4 years instead of, I mean, yes, did he deserve some of it? Absolutely. But she held the grudge too long. And you know, it did become about punishing as opposed to actual, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, reasons for not being together at that point.
Well, I can see that too, but you also got to kind of look at it from her point of view too, because she's been
through some crap.
Yeah, and she's been torn in different directions. You know, dad died. It just
paralyzed.
So I mean, she has a lot to blame Oliver for. You know.
Yeah, but they all do. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say I can justify working with you and helping you, but I can't, you know.
Well, no,
I don't know.
That is really easy to justify. She believes in his work, what he's doing. She thinks he's doing good deeds, good work. Yeah. He's doing something that's necessary, and she's part of a bigger whole. But that doesn't mean she has to be in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that she has to love him. I mean,
But she did. That's the thing, is she
but,
did.
you know, people change, people grow, and things happen, especially with, you know, comic books and comic based television
Yeah.
shows. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, she may have gotten to the point where she just cannot do the emotional investment anymore. I mean, it's
possible.
They're
It's very
supposed to be
possible.
portraying human people.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. Sometimes I really sympathize with her, and sometimes I'm just like, lady, get over it. You know,
Well,
like
it makes perfect sense, because
Yeah.
that's what the whole point of their relationship is to give you that
hot, cold. Yeah.
yeah.
You
And so
know,
you're doing what the
keeps
writers
you-
want.
It keeps you invested. That's for sure. And it drives me nuts, but in a good way, you know, in a good way.
Unlike other relationships and other shows where they go hot, cold, and they mess with it, and they poke you in the eye and they do it wrong, and it's just like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I will give you that there. There are shows that do it way worse. So
Go
might
ahead.
start with a S and have an ooper in there, and maybe a G
No.
in there someplace.
Yeah. No, not at all. No. You know? I didn't just watch the finale tonight and go WTF. They're talking about a hashtag WTF moment. Freaking Cooper.
Yeah, well, what can you expect from somebody that wears the blue and red and yellow? We won't get into that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
go ahead.
anyways,
Sorry, Beacon, didn't mean to derail you there, bro.
No, that was good stuff. The other Deathstroke line I just started reading my notes while you guys were saying that, and it's the where they get ambushed, and and of course he's like, oh yeah, put the gun to his head, and then he says, assumption is the mother of all failures.
I thought he was going to say something entirely else. As soon as he started saying it, I'm like, they're not going to say that on the CW, are they? They're not going to say that on the CW, are they?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that was great. I mean, I totally saw that coming, but I don't even remember the name of that girl, the little brunette that they put in the cage. I, for the life of me, cannot remember her name. What is her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember her from Supernatural, and I remember her name as Chrissy, and she's just always Chrissy. And that's not. I know that's not her, but
Vixen.
I'm just.
It's Vixen, I think, isn't it? Is it Vixen?
So.
Something like that.
So.
No. See, now I'm gonna look it up while you guys talk.
But you know, it was nice to. I'm assuming that she did not make it off the island, being locked in the cage.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. All right, well, we'll get to the end, and I'll give you my theory about what's going to happen.
Hey, one thing that I didn't like was all the ninja explosions and disappearing. And I get that happens, right? But when the ambush scene and they throw down Talia throws it down and disappears, but she's already surrounded. So exactly where did she go when she threw that down? And then Chase did the same thing towards the end.
Into the ninja dimension. The ninja dimension.
He shadow walked. They shadow walked. Oh, no, makes sense now.
Yeah, if they went into the ninja dimension. Don't you know about the inverse ninja law and the ninja dimension? Don't know about the inverse ninja law?
For another show, yes.
No, it's very simple. The more ninjas you have, the weaker each ninja is. And as you kill off all the ninjas, they get stronger and stronger till you're left with the last ninja, and he has all the power of all the ninja that came before him, and
like
he's
Highlander.
Almost unstoppable. Yes, it's like Highlander. That's the inverse ninja law.
Yeah, just did not make a lot of sense with how you can be surrounded yet get away. But anyway, that was just the one thing I was like, where exactly did you go? Did you Bugs Bunny dig a hole and like burrow your way out of there?
That actually would have been hilarious and would make for some very funny outtakes.
Well,
I did see one outtake tonight. I'll interject here. I saw one outtake. It was hilarious. It was on the beach. And Nissa's character was eating a donut. You could tell that's off camera. And someone diverts her attention. So she turns her head and she has the donut standing out. And a barrowman comes running up and licks the donut and then runs away. And she starts eating it. That was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over Twitter right now. I tweeted it
Yeah.
earlier.
So that
I
was
was laughing
funny.
really hard.
Yeah, and make sure if you don't follow Barrowman, make sure you do, because they're releasing all kinds of videos that are just
Priceless.
absolutely just hilarious. I didn't want to watch them because I didn't want to be spoiled. I didn't know exactly what I was going to be getting into, but then I was like, I got to do it. And I clicked and I saw that donut scene you were talking about and was like, oh my goodness, that is
Well,
so
I tagged you and sent it to you
so
because it was
good.
just so funny. And
So
it
good.
wasn't a spoiler. It was just so funny.
It
So-
was hilarious. So
Yeah, so where do we want to go next?
Well, you want to go to the boat scene, or do you want to go to the scene right before that, where and cover the double cross
well, the double cross
into the
Yeah.
double cross?
into the double cross. I mean, if you didn't see that coming,
Well,
I mean-
it was obvious and planned and contrived at the very beginning. You could see it in their faces when he punched Oliver and Oliver went down like a rock. It's like come on, how many times has he cold cocked Oliver in the past and Oliver didn't just crumple like a tin can?
exactly.
You knew it was a setup.
Exactly. But that was a very clever way to get them in. And to sneak I'm really surprised that they weren't searched before being brought in.
Well, see that again, you're getting into a comic book trope that's used over and over again: the fake
True.
double cross, and the
true.
bad guys never search the good guys, or if they do, they don't do a good enough job.
Exactly. So so then getting to see Dinah released and I guess I don't remember which order it happened. I think the sister battle happened first, right? Between Nyssa and Talia.
No, the escape happened first, and then Talia goes, the prisoners, and then Nyssa goes, don't worry about them. And then,
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
I had an
welcome to the
Admiral Akbar moment there.
family feud.
I had an Admiral Akbar moment there when she's like, "The prisoners." I wanted to say, "It's a trap! It's a trap!"
But that was a pretty sweet fight.
That was definitely a awesome fight between the two sisters, and wow, the choreographing of, in my opinion, of all the fight scenes tonight were spot on. Just very well done for a television show.
No. I would say even for a movie, a lot of them were really well done. I just still have my problems with Chase. And if you want me to go into them right now, I can. It's not the choreography that I have a problem with.
Let's go into it because we're already going in. Let's jump in and let's talk. I have a hard time with him, and I've had a hard time with him the entire season. It's just, and I was talking to Super about this earlier. I just keep waiting for the night of the Roxbury. I can't take him serious. Yeah. I look at him and I see Night at the Roxbury, cheesy suit, 1990s club music, and it's just like, come on, this is supposed to be the biggest bad guy. Just give me a break. I can't take it serious. And then his fight scenes just look forced to me. You know what I mean? It's like it looks like Oliver is holding back. The actor is holding back because he's afraid he's going to hurt this guy. So Stephen Amell, I think I'm absolutely 100% sure would hurt him.
Yes, he would. He would.
You can tell he's like sitting there going, I'm afraid I might actually kill this man if I actually don't hold myself back. And you can tell, you can see it. I
am happy that there's a couple things I'm happy about with Chase. One, that he didn't kill Malcolm, and really he didn't kill anybody. And to be honest, he got his butt kicked the entire episode. And really stood zero chance.
No, not just this episode. Every episode for the last four, he's basically gotten stomped. And real quick,
he may be mentally better than Oliver, but he is not physically better.
I would not even say he's mentally better. He just had more time to plan, and he got Oliver in a bad spot, ramped up his emotions, and basically clouded his thinking. So he had the better setup. But before we go any farther, Nick just joined us in the chat channel. So I just want to say hello to him real quick. Anyways, yeah, go ahead with your thought. I didn't mean to derail you there.
No, just I'm glad that they didn't give him more credit than he deserves, because he doesn't deserve a lot of credit. The whole 10 steps ahead thing, I do, that keeps coming up over and over. It seems like every single episode he says it. That's like his tagline.
He wasn't 10 steps ahead.
Well,
he wasn't 10 steps ahead.
He was. I'm going to tell you why. If you remember, at the very end of the last episode, he says, I'll see you on the boat.
Right.
So he knew, he anticipated that everything was going to lead to that point, to where he was going to be on the boat with William, with Oliver, making Oliver make that choice. I mean, everything was planned out, detailed out. He really is a mastermind when it comes to planning. It's just, man, the guy's a dirtball.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Matt, the Big Papa Matt, joined us in the chat channel too. So I want to say what's up to him. Player, Epic Beard. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us tonight. So, but anyway, I just don't feel that he was that good a planner. I mean, he got Oliver off kilter, off focus, set him up in a way that he was going to be driving the plot and the steps and everything, and putting Oliver in a position where he had to deal with all those emotions, all the fear. So he was able to keep him off center and not let him focus and think. So yeah, it's easy to beat somebody when you're playing them in a game when you're in their head, and he was in his head before Oliver had a chance. So and he was playing dirty, man. He went to the family. He went to the family, to the son. That's dirty. That's dirty pool.
Mm-hmm.
That is cheap.
Well,
he knew how to attack him. He knew how to attack him. And a lot of that comes from, honestly, it's not him, it's Talia. I mean, Talia is the one that trained him. She's the one that told him everything that she knew about Oliver and all of his history on Lian Yu. And he knew what to expect. And he knew what to expect because Talia trained him well, even though she got her butt kicked too by her sister.
Yeah, she did. Do we know where they went? Do we know where the two of them went? Were they with? I don't remember. Were they with everyone at the bombs? Yeah. They were.
All of Team Arrow was together.
Okay, so Talia was tied up, I'm assuming, or
knocked out.
Knocked out. Okay, I couldn't remember.
I didn't see. Matt just slammed back in the chat channel when I said Epic Beard. He says it's almost as epic as the Flash finale from last night.
Yeah.
And then Nick throws at us that Malcolm isn't dead. He's like a roach. Only a Nike will finish him off.
I totally agree.
He meant a nuke, not a Nike. The Nike fit. The Nike fit. It made sense.
Well, the nuke almost happened last season. So
yeah.
I do like that they left that kind of a cliffhanger. Bad echo going. But I do like that they left that open. It is possible that he can come back from that. So I do love that. That's still a possibility. Who knows? But you know how much I love John Barrowman, and
even if you don't love Barrowman, you got to remember this is Malcolm Merlyn we're talking about. The character itself is the classic foil of the Green Arrow. I mean, it's like they kill the Joker off over and over again in Batman, over and over again, but they keep bringing him back, and because you can't have one without the other,
Absolutely,
so,
yin and yang.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that we don't see him in season 6, except for maybe a cameo here or there. They might fit him in. He might make a return, or it might be a flashback sequence. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go into season 7, he pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we make it to a season 7, we were actually talking about that, and I think that's where we should go at this point. Is what happens next? Because again, this was an epic finale. I loved every single minute of it until the last 30 seconds where I'm like, really? What
What was that?
What's next, you know? And I
Yeah,
know that
and
there's been
I don't know if
talk-
you're watching this, but Matt and Nick are having an amazing conversation in the chat channel, by the way. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
there's been alluding to a soft reset for Arrow for season 6. It's been out there. But this did not feel in any way like a soft reset.
No,
This felt like
this was like blowing
full on
everything
down the
up.
power button until it goes,
Yeah,
Well, it goes
nuclear. Speaking of nukes, but that's literally what this felt like. This was like, well, we're gonna just, and we're gonna start all over again, and we're gonna hope we don't piss you off enough to come back. You know?
The only thing that I keep going on with, because Super and I were talking before this, that there's contracts. So unless CW was just blowing smoke and the actors themselves about the contracts that were signed, half of the people that died just renewed contracts for season 6 as season regulars. So my belief just right up front is that somehow that plane's going to be in the air when the explosion happens. That's the only thing
I don't think that at all. I don't think it'll be the plane. But really quick, before I forget, I forgot I put a poll on this live stream. It's up in the right hand button. You hit the little eye information button. It's just a real quick question, yes or no. Did you enjoy the finale, the Arrow finale? Yes or no? We'd like to know. So just make sure you give it a little clicky if you can.
Right there.
Yep, right there. Right. Is it that way? That way. No, that way. Okay. Sorry. You want my theory about what's going to happen, or do you want to keep going with the story or the chain of events, and I can give it to you at the end?
No, I think we're pretty much through. I don't know that we need to keep rehashing chain of events unless there's something that somebody really has to bring up. We got through a lot of it.
I want to quote somebody from the chat channel really quick, and then I'll give you my theory, because the quote is of the quote, and we said it earlier. Matt, Big Papa Matt, he said it better than we did. I think every time Deathstroke opened his mouth tonight, it was quotable. I just want to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah, it was gold.
Anyways,
same thing.
Yeah, and the reason I really want to hit that is because I think that's why they're still alive. Is Deathstroke spent a lot of time on that island? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. If anyone's gonna know us, underground secret way,
hidey hole, caves. There was caves all over the island. Grottos. Something. It's a Asiatic Ocean island. It's gonna have grottos and cut caves and tidal caves. If anybody can get them to a place. Anybody can get him to a place where there's not a bomb or a bunch of rock to protect him. It's going to be Deathstroke. He's I think they're going to come out of the rubble doing the slow-mo walk covered in soot and dirt and a couple people bleeding going, ta-da, we made it.
Yeah, and not everybody is foreign to the island. Nissa's been on the island and Thea's been on the island too. So it's, and if Malcolm's still alive, obviously he knows the island. So
yeah, I was thinking that like the cave idea, but maybe it was like underground. I don't know if they ever foresaw that whole thing going up like that, but you could think that maybe they had something built underneath the island, underneath the bombs, maybe.
Well,
I was thinking underwater grotto, because water doesn't compress. So if he could get them into a grotto where they're a tidal grotto where it's cut a cave and they can get the water and the stone between them. Doesn't matter how big of an explosion is, the shock wave isn't going to go through as long as it doesn't take out the stone and cave it in on them.
Exactly.
So, you want to think physics wise and be kind of realistic about it. That would be the best way to survive, other than not being there when it explodes.
It would make sense. Yeah, it would totally make sense. Because the only other way I could see it happening was that there was a time lapse in between what we think is happening simultaneously, but really isn't happening simultaneously, and they were able to fix the plane and get off.
Well, I just think, I think that once Oliver relayed it and they had their little conversation, and she says that he tells him to go to the freighter on the other, and she's like, that's the other side of the island. Deathstroke's gonna be like, screw that. We're going in this cave. We're gonna crawl in this hole, and we're gonna wait out the boom. Yeah. So I mean, Big Papa Matt, are you talking about what I was saying about Thea? Yeah, she still needs work. Not the best character development. I agree.
She's had much better seasons too. So that's the thing is she absolutely has had some killer seasons. So
she had a couple good episodes this season too, but her character, I kind of feel like they don't know what to do with her right now. She's not part of Team Arrow. She's not part of the mayor's campaign anymore. She's just there, She's not Oliver's moral compass. She's just one more thing that he's trying to protect. She's kind of fallen. I mean, I know like what you were saying, where she doesn't want to be Speedy and she doesn't want to be that killer or that person or that fighter anymore, but it's kind of come to the point where what is her role? Is she just there to give Oliver pep talks every now and again, or, how much is she really going to be in the show going forward?
Well, I think myself personally, most of what kept her in the show or kept her viable as a character was Malcolm Merlyn, Barrowman, the interaction between the two of them, that tension. Yeah. And without Merlyn, you're right. She really doesn't have a place. She's not a part of the team. She's not a sidekick anymore. She's not actively fighting crime. She doesn't want to fight anymore. She doesn't have anything. And the only reason I think they held her on this long, or at least that's what it feels to me, is that you had to have some reason to bring Merlyn back and there to be some kind of, you would diffuse the tension between him and Oliver. Yeah, Thea. And without him there, what's Thea going to do? And you couldn't have had Merlyn there without Thea. Otherwise, Oliver and Merlyn would have just been fighting nonstop.
Yeah.
So, anyways, go ahead, Beacon. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you again. No. I did that a lot tonight.
No, man, you've been spot on. I just, how much I love this show. And so I'm kind of just, I don't know exactly where to go with it. Other than to say, I think
last night, when I was sitting there, I was watching my boy last night, and then I just was sitting there like, I can't even talk. I can't even think. And then, don't want to derail you again, but the whole HR Iris thing, I was sitting there going, oh my God. So happy Iris is alive, but HR, what the hell? You're in that spot right now.
Yeah, but here's what I will say is I do like the development of Oliver and where he has finally gotten to as a hero. I'm not going to be the man you want me to be. He said that multiple times to Chase. That's not who I am anymore. And he's finally let go of his demons and his daddy issues which anybody, by the way, I mean, I'm not trying to put it lightly what he went through, devastating, but to keep continuously blame himself. And he says to Chase, you may still blame yourself or you may blame me for your father's death or something like that for the rest of your life. Or if you kill my son, you'll blame yourself for the rest of your life, but I'm no longer going to blame myself for my father's death. I mean, something along those lines. He took a huge step as a person, but now what does he do now with I
don't know if I would say that
where does he go?
He's reconciled his demons. I wouldn't say that. I'd say
he's taken the step forward.
Well, it's not reconciled. It's more he's owning them. You know what I mean? They're still there. They're still driving them, still pushing him. He still feels the anger and the rage as a driving force, but instead of it being a brick wall or a crutch or an anchor, it's now pushing him forward. And he's owning it, and he's no longer going to let those things make his decisions for him. He's using it as fuel now instead of, being, I'm going to do this because this and this happened and I feel terrible about it. Instead of, I'm going to do this because I know it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to use all this anger and rage from everything that happened to me to make me succeed. That's how I see it. But I could be crazy.
No.
It wouldn't be the first time.
I think that's accurate.
I was crazy once. They stuck me in a rubber room with rubber rats. I hate rubber rats. They drive me crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. They stuck me in a rubber room with rubber rats. I hate rubber rats. They drive me crazy.
I haven't
Crazy. I
heard
was
that
crazy
in
once.
forever. But what was the cost? What was the cost of him finally hitting this point? You know, was it worth
Well,
everything?
the writers want us to believe it's everything else he cares about other than his son. But I still, that's not. I just somebody might have died. They might have lost one or two of them, and it's going to be a tragedy. But I don't think everybody is gone.
No, I don't think so either.
That's my
Because honestly, you do that, you are going to lose the audience, and they're not going to, you know what I mean? Because it's not just Oliver that we watch the show for. I mean, they probably wish it was, but I mean, and I love Oliver. Don't get me wrong, but you know, you can't. Diggle and Felicity and Curtis and Renee and Dinah, name
Quentin.
Quentin, thank you. I'm like Lance, but that's not you. That's three people. But yeah, Quentin. I always forget his first name, Quentin.
Not to mention all of the bad guys, you know, that were
exactly
there as
that
well.
were locked up.
That is a great
Talia
point.
and with Black Siren and
Because we don't know where they took Black Siren. I mean, Quentin knocked her out, and rightly so. He needed to do that.
yes, and he said that I needed that.
You know, Nick is throwing down some thoughts over here in the chat channel. He's saying he could see Slade taking one for the team, Deathstroke stepping up and getting trashed up. Maybe the afterwards we'll get a version of him on Titans. You know, it just that I could actually see that going on. He could lead them into a tunnel, some kind of place of safety, and in doing so, getting himself blown to shreds or something. And you know, it could happen.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's hard to figure out right now where we're going with this thing. So that's
they left us with a big. That's it. That's all you got. You don't got any shadows on the ground of angel wings. You don't have any missing holes in people's chests. You just
there's nothing. We got nothing.
So, the last thing I will leave with is we do have two other shows that are in this universe, that are in the Arrowverse. We have Flash, which obviously just had an epic finale last night. Who knows what's going to come out of all of that situation? And we still have Legends of Tomorrow, which left you with utter chaos in the world. So you never know.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. But you never know what they're going to do. And if, you know, I would hate to say that a season's a wash and but if they're going to do a reset, maybe Legends plays into that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Dude, no, that would make me so angry. That would make me so angry. That is the epitome of lazy writing right there. I would lose my bloody mind.
Yeah, but how often have we seen that in comic book after comic book after comic book after retcon after retcon after retcon?
But that's like He-Man and She-Ra level of lazy writing. Okay.
I love She-Ra.
I love me some He-Man. But you know what? That's like.
But I get it. I get it.
I just threw my phone. So literally. I was like.
So you're thinking somehow with the ending of the Legends of Tomorrow, which I love, by the way. Oh my God! I think we broke time, and there's dinosaurs running around, and there's chaos, and
all of it to say I don't know. I'm just saying.
But that would be interesting, or maybe Flashpoint gets reset, and somehow how weird would that be though, to have the baby go back to the other gender, to be the girl again. But
let's
this
keep
time
putting Lila and Diggle through that, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying I would like it, but I mean, I'm pointing out things that would change, and that's just the first one I could think of in the Arrowverse that would change. Because they didn't really cover what else was altered by Flashpoint in Arrow.
I'm gonna just Occam razor this thing, okay? And the simplest solution is usually the best or the right solution. And I'm gonna say they just somehow get off the island, and some of them probably don't make it, and we never really get to hear how they didn't make it. We don't get to see how they didn't make it. We're just gonna get
no. This is the Arrow we're talking about here. There will be in the first 6 episodes. There'll be like an hour worth of flashbacks to how they get off the damn island.
Did anybody The drinking game tonight, by the way, was how many people did Oliver kill in his flashbacks? Because like I think I stopped counting somewhere around like 12, 13, 14. I don't remember exactly. A ton of people. Like that dude's body count just we need to
Rambo
go back
style?
and we need to
Rambo
count the
style?
last 5 seasons because the last 115 episodes what exactly is Oliver Queen's body count?
Okay. You go ahead and
Oh.
you go ahead and binge watch all 5 seasons of The Arrow this
they're done
summer. I'm going to binge watch all 3 seasons of The Flash this summer because I can't go
Man.
this long without The Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Does
just
that
saying.
mean I have to watch all 12 seasons of Supernatural?
No, because by the time you get to this season finale, you might not want to call it supernatural anymore. It'll just be kind of good natural.
Sort of natural.
Kind of maybe sort of it's good natural.
Well, so definitely, did we get any votes on the did you like it, did you not like it?
You know what? I completely forgot about it, man.
Sorry, Matt and everybody else in the chat channel. We kind of lost you there for a moment. But we do want to say thank you to Nick. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to anybody else that is actually watching, but maybe didn't throw in any comments. That's okay.
We had a couple people show up and say hi, but didn't say hi. They just showed up, came in, dropped out. We had 4 votes, 100% that they enjoyed it. They liked the Arrow season finale. So, yeah.
Like I said, it was an amazing finale. I can see if some people leave it pissed, but I don't think anybody can fairly say it wasn't a good finale. I mean,
it wasn't the Flash finale, I'll give you that, but it was good. Sorry.
But some people are going to be pissed. Some people are going to be pissed about the Flash finale and about Barry walking in this. Well, I don't want to spoil it if anybody hasn't seen it, but go watch our other video that we filmed last night. It may, some people might be mad and upset about that too. That's all I'm saying. But either way, you had amazing finales, and you had something twist kind of happen at the very, very end of both of them. So.
Well, you had a twist at the beginning of the Flash and a twist at the end, but that's okay.
A double twist, a double twist.
Okay, making me want a donut now.
Make sure Barrowman didn't lick it first.
Oh, if he had, I wouldn't eat it. I'd sit there and have it bronzed.
Right? I'd still eat it, but yeah. I mean, in that I wouldn't be bothered by him licking the donut.
No, but I would bronze it and be like, you know what? Guess who licked this donut?
Hello, eBay. Hey, thank you to everybody who came out tonight and watched it. And if you're watching tomorrow or the next day, thank you. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will actually, Mess 5150, Matt and myself are going to be filming a little Alien Covenant video. I don't know if we'll actually have it out to you guys tomorrow, but it will be out definitely this weekend. So make sure you go watch Covenant and then go watch that. We also have our podcast airing on Friday, normal time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is live, so you can join on the chat channel. We would love to have you. As you can see, we love having these interactions with our fans and our supporters. You guys are the reason we're here. It's not like we would just talk dirt anyway, but it's so much better when we get to interact with you guys. I mean, it is so much better when we get to interact with all of our followers and subscribers out there.
This is a big important podcast on this next one because it's the last time you're going to get to see Mest. He's going on vacation, and Beacon and the Big Papa Matt are going to be taking over. So, yeah, if you want to say goodbye to Mest before he goes on vacation, make sure you're there this Friday. If
you want to mess with Mest, this would be the time to do it.
And he needs it. We got to keep him on his toes.
Yeah, we need to give him a reason to want to go on vacation.
You got to keep him off my back. The harder you guys bug him, the more he leaves me alone.
But it was a lot of fun. Can't wait till next season, of course, and to see what happens. We'll possibly get some theory videos out for Flash and Arrow for you, but definitely come join us tomorrow. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and until
I know
Friday,
you're trying to get out of here. I know you're trying to get out of here, but
we got something else.
We just got Fletcher just joined the channel, and he just
right on.
Do you think Slade took everyone to the prison cells like underground to save them from the explosions? Like I said, it's probably underground, something like that from earlier. Fletcher, go ahead and scroll back and you see. But I didn't even think about the cells. I was thinking like a grotto or something like that. But you're right; those cells are tough. They're hardcore. If they could keep Slade locked down, they can handle some C4.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Awesome. I'm glad that we stuck around for that one because that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
I can't believe we didn't think of that. Man.
Well, I can't think of everything.
No, I know, but wow.
And poor Beacon's shell shocked because he just watched all of his favorite characters explode.
I know.
Seriously.
I know.
Well, thanks again for joining. Thank you. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Beacon_Malice Corp. You can follow Super Whovian Freak at Super Whovian Nut. You can follow Jack Malice at Jack_Malice. You can follow Malice Corp at Malice Corp. You can follow our podcast at Malice Cast. And then we also have our other podcast out there. It's at Nerd Mosh Pit. And that's at the Big Papa Matt.
Their second episode just was released today, I believe. So second episode's available on our site. They don't have any artwork yet, so they're not up on Stitcher and everything yet, but you can still come over to Malice Corp and listen to the second episode.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to listen to it while I'm supposed to be working tomorrow, so we'll see. But thank you, everybody, again. We can't do it without you, so we do appreciate you. And until next time, you stay nerdy out there.
Night.